Hey guys, so I wanted to make a quick video on how to wire a reverse camera in for any kind of head unit. This is pretty much how all reverse cameras will come as far as signal and inputs that you need. You're going to have your camera and then you're going to have a cable that comes out of that. So this is literally just a video output from the camera and then it's getting power from this signal here. So this is your power and ground. And then when this turns on, it sends a video signal out to your head unit. So let me put this out of the way so we don't get confused. But here's the end. One side of it, so you've got this red cable sticking out and then a male RCA on one end, and then on the other end we've got a male RCA DIN connector here and then a positive and negative little speaker wire type thing coming out. So more than likely you're going to have to drill a hole through the trunk or use a grommet from your license plate lights, something along those lines, to run these cables through. On this end you're going to plug in your power and your video output into the end right here. Once you put it in the car, I would definitely recommend taping both of these up and zip tying, this side and this side. Open and close your trunk a few times to make sure that these aren't going to be pulling off or, ripping apart, because you don't want to have your trunk closed and then all of a sudden your camera's not showing up. So just keep those factors in mind. This power and ground is not a constant power and ground, meaning you don't put this straight to your battery or anything like that. The red is going to go to the positive side of your reverse light bulb, meaning that your literal reverse light that's in your tail light, there's a positive and negative that goes into that exact bulb, and this is where that positive wire will hit. You can just put that onto any ground that's in the car, meaning any bolt that's sticking out, anything that hits the actual body of the car. Just in case that doesn't make sense, I'm going to go out to a car and kind of show that exactly what I mean there. So for checking out the reverse camera in the actual car, we've got my Volkswagen Eonon head unit here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into reverse, and then we'll see that the camera will come up. But as you can see, when we go out of reverse, that 12 volt signal is telling the head unit that we're out of reverse. But when we go back in, my reverse light went on, and therefore it tells the head unit that we're in reverse. Now that I know that that's my reverse light, that's where I would then take my 12 volt light. So my reverse camera is actually hidden up underneath the VW there, and I have a video on how to install this one specifically. It's a little different than what I'm talking about now. So finding this wire on the back is going to become a lot easier when you have this 12 volt light. So all that this light does is it has a ground clip on one side, and then you've got a prong looking thing on the other. There we go. So there's a bare metal piece for me to test this on. So as you can see, there's no light on right now. There's what your 12 volt light will look like when you're actually on a 12 volt source. So since my tail light is on, my 12 volt light is turning on. So that's how you would test. So you would have someone go into reverse. If you had two people go into reverse, and then it looks like that would be my positive side of my reverse light. This power and ground is only hitting the reverse bulb. The reason why we put it to the reverse bulb is because that bulb is an easy 12 volt signal to see that, okay, I'm in reverse, we need to turn the camera on. But on your other end of your cable here, this is what's going to be actually inputted to your head unit. All that we're going to have is our video output from the camera. All that this is, another power from our reverse light that's going all the way through here. And when this turns on, this is going to send a 12 volt signal to your head unit and say, hey, I'm in reverse or I'm not in reverse. Now that we've got these up to the head unit, let's see what some of the potential inputs could look like on head units themselves. So on this older Pioneer head unit, on this RCA right there, it says BC in, meaning your backup camera input. So that's where you're going to take your RCA, plug it right in there. So here's the main wiring harness from this Pioneer. This one cable is labeled as reverse gear signal input. This cable is going to be the one that you're going to want to tie with your reverse trigger coming from your backup camera. When this gets 12 volts, it's going to tell the head unit, I need to go in and show the reverse camera because the car is in reverse. This will tell the head unit to switch the camera, and then it'll pull up this video feed, which will then be on from you going into reverse and powering up the camera. I know it's slightly confusing, but trying to explain it as best I can. As far as the Eonon, there's going to be your main power harness. You'll see that we've got a wire labeled reverse trigger. So now that we've got that, you'll see that we have a wire labeled backup camera input. And then again, our red wire from this wire is going to reverse trigger. And then that's telling the head unit to actually turn on and off. Okay, so here's another type of universal camera, and this output has a small DIN connector that it uses instead of the power and video outputs. On the other side of that connector, so the one that will get plugged in directly right here, and then we've got one that will run to the front and plug into the head unit. But you can see on this one, we've only got one single red wire coming off of it. So this red wire will then go to the positive of your reverse light. So this one actually pulls its ground on the other side of the camera and uses a 3.5 instead of the RCA and power plugs. This is only a specific kind of head unit that can have this kind of plug. If you guys have any further questions or want me to go over anything else reverse camera wise, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe and leave any other comments or questions that you guys have down in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Drug money, bail money, heard they got life for me. How they got life for me when they took that from me? Since I had my nose, since I had my